It was like having dinner with the devil. Devil in the sense that they say when you're having dinner with the devil, you use a long spoon so that your two fingers don't touch each other. You don't know what the devil has put in his nails so that they touch you, and when you take to your mouth and you eat, it will be over. So in the morning, when the devil is calling you to find out if you are dead, he asks you, your voice has changed, just to make sure that you are the same one. And you answer back and say, no, it is that nice food of yours that has made my voice to change. Thank you very much for making me have such a good meal with you. So he always prepared for the battle. That's why they say he was obsessed with success. Because each time you pass one battlefield, you prepare for the other. After all, life itself is battle. I'll never complain. I had him for 40 years. I'll be very ungrateful if I did that. There are people who have had marriages of lesser years. I thank God, and I have accepted. We were a team. He looked over my back, and I looked over his. In marriage, we all know there's nothing like 50-50. There's always one person sacrificing more than the other. It could be 40, 70, but everything just came to 100. We understood that. And as a couple, we worked through that. The fact that a vision was made did not mean that everything was going to be smooth. He was not perfect, neither was I. Neither did we have a perfect relationship. But we worked through it, knowing that marriage is about 80-20. 80% meaning what the two of you share in common. The other 20% is what may divide you. So we increase the 80% and reduce the 20% in our lives to make it 0.2%. And in that way, we had a perfect marriage. My husband did surgery up to the end. 2 hours, I turned from Mrs. to a widow. He was okay. He was not sick. We talked. He went on the day of, on the 24th of January. He went out, bought things to buy things for the late brother's funeral. At 2 o'clock, he told me he was chesty. I told him to rest, due to the stress, that he should rest. At 2:30, he asked me for a cough mixture, and I just pointed to him, my own cough mixture. I pointed to him and walked away because I was ironing to go to work. And one thing I liked about my husband is that he allowed me to grow. So my professional career was something of importance to him. So I ironed to go to work. While ironing, I heard him calling me in a stressful voice. When I went, I found out that he had collapsed and his head was almost knocking on the wall. I put my hand to the wall, and then his tongue was coming out, and I pressed down the tongue for some fresh air. I called the workers who were there. I screamed, and they come, and he got revived, put him on the floor. When he woke up, he said, "I want to see my son." That's when I knew something was not going right, because if he had said, "Call me Mike," that's different. Then he said, "Call me my son." 2 weeks earlier, he had said, if anything ever happened to him, I should call Professor Mwanda. So when I revived him the first time, I called Professor Mwanda and I told him, please, I need to see you urgently in my house. I didn't tell him what was wrong. I didn't want to cause an accident. Then I called my son. I asked him, where are you? He said, I'm in theater. What, are you operating or assisting? He said he was operating. I said, please hand over. Your father is not feeling fine. I think you better just come quietly. And he came. So when my son arrived, my husband spoke to my son. My son said, okay, fine. When he arrived, I said, your father has had a heart attack. And but now he looks better. He said, there's no problem. You must be on admission. Where are your tracksuits? He's the one who pointed out the tracksuits to my son, and then my son started making all the emergency calls. Sat up, drank, talked a bit, and then said he wanted to go for a long call. He was assisted. He went for the long call. Then Professor Mwanda came in, and he is the one who said, oh, you've arrived. Please check my blood pressure. As the blood pressure was being checked, he had the second attack, and we was rushed down there. And I think it must have been one of the most stressful things for my son when he had the third attack, knowing the implications of having a third attack. And when he finally had the fourth one, he passed, and all this happened within 2 hours. Just like a surgeon operates, finish, it's over. The following day, I dreamt he asked me, the way we used to have our discussions, pulling a seat and asking me, what do you think I would have done in this situation? It was best for you, it was best for me. I woke up and I said, I set you free. That is the story of Judge Albert Omare Magoha. Magoha, son of Magoha, has exited the stage when the ovation was loudest. Thank you for celebrating his life with me.
Thank you very much, my sister, for being strong in the midst of so much turmoil. We come to the end now. After